Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of a Holy Rust Revival. I'm Rob Smith, your host. We're going to do something a little different this weekend. I'm basically going to tie the camera to my side and we're just going to document what a typical weekend on Triple S Farms looks like. I promise you, we're going to mess with some rusty stuff. We're going to deal with a lot of broken stuff. We're going to move mountains. I don't know. My brother is home, so it's no telling what we're going to get ourselves into. But a typical weekend is this. I rush home after work, get off at 4:45 or so from work and throw my overalls on and head to the farm. It's about 17 miles away from Meridian, Mississippi. And I'm chasing daylight is what I'm doing. As you can see, the sun is just about down on the edge of the trees, and I've got about 30 to 40 minutes of daylight left to be able to get my projects lined up for this weekend. So I've got to quit bumping my gums and come on and let's enjoy the ride this weekend. Again, I don't know what we're going to get ourselves into, but we're going to have a good time. Okay, y'all, in the race of time, I know I'm going to be using this deuce and a half this weekend. I've got to haul a lot of logs from one side of the place to the other for a sawmill that I have ordered to help build a barn in the next couple of months. I haven't cranked this thing in I don't know how long. It's been months since I have touched it, and but it's always faithful to crank up. But I want to check the fluids in it, just like every good piece of equipment. Before you start using it, check fluids, go through the thing. But I'm going to show you how I kind of sort of do my checkpoints on this before we get it started. Yep. Oh, yeah. Okay. Man, what a hoss. What a hoss. So this engine is a multi-fuel engine, and I think it's made by Continental. It's a 6-cylinder. You don't really call it a diesel engine because it can actually burn both gasoline and diesel. It does have what looks like injectors over here, but there's some kind of fuel density compensator that just basically determines what the density of the fuel is as it's going into the injector pump or pump, whatever you'd like to call it. Maybe it shifts timing. I'm not exactly sure how all that works, but I'm ultimately running diesel in it. But also when I change the oil in my tractors, I put it in the fuel tank too, and it burns it just fine. So it's kind of handy having a old engine oil processor, free fuel sort of thing. But this is a Jim Dandy engine. It only has, I think, I have to go back and look at the odometer, but not even 10,000 miles on it. And it's a early 80s model. So let's check the oil. Let's see where we are on our dipstick. Yeah, it's got oil in it. And it appears to be above the full level a little bit right there. A lot of the oil in this engine, you'll see what I mean in just a moment, settles back down to the bottom of the engine. You're supposed to check the oil after you actually run it for a minute or two, because these big old oil filters here, all the oil drains back down into the engine after it sits up for a while. And I'll show you that on the oil pressure when we crank up in a minute. But the bottom line is we've got plenty of oil in our engine. Let's check antifreeze, coolant. Oh, yeah, well, that's a good sign. We got plenty of that. That's good. Look, when I got this engine, I think here, hey, I can see you. I think when sun's going down, can you tell? Straight on. It was overheating, and somebody just parked it and put it up. Excuse me, this old wind has me coughing. These intake ports here, I pulled them off and they were so clogged up with dirt and refuse that's what the problem was. The engine was not circulating water all the way through because all of these ports were clogged up. I basically pulled all these ports, put new hoses on it, and man, she runs like a champion. Okay, those are our two fluids, oil, antifreeze. Let's go inside and see if she'll actually turn over. I hope the batteries are still hot. It's just been sitting here so long. And I guess I forgot I had firewood in the back of this thing. Look at there. We're fixing to have to move this around and go get that out over by the firewood shed right over there. Okay, let's get inside this deuce and a half. Boy, deuce. There's other words for deuce. We won't get into that. Laying a deuce. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Is it? Okay, never mind. The very most important thing is to make sure we're in neutral. Look, if this thing cranks up right away and it's in gear, it will literally climb over everything that's in its path. You just better get out of the way. So, gauges, we've got a speedometer, we've got an RPM gauge. This is your temperature. I'm sorry, that's your amp gauge. And this is your engine temperature. This is air pressure. That is oil pressure. And this is the fuel gauge. So typically what I do is the engine stop is right here. That's how you kill the engine. Just make sure it's pushed all the way in. Now when I flip this switch up, that's going to activate the batteries if they are still good. I don't know. And that's when that loud buzzer is going to start. And at that point, I'm going to reach over here and push that red button. And hopefully we're going to be able to get this thing cranked up. Now, it's also cold today. I haven't cranked this thing much in cold weather, so I don't know. Okay, go back to mileage. Okay, mileage. This thing only has 11,499 miles on it, all the way from 1980, 83, I think is what model this is, and only 453 hours. Isn't that unbelievable? That a vehicle this old just has that few hours and miles, but it sat up in a fire department most of its life. It didn't get run other than just getting cranked up and going to emergencies whenever those were. That's part of the tank. It was a tanker truck, which I now have a flatbed on it, but it used to have a tank on there, and that was the water level of the tank. Okay, so here we go. Let me flip this switch and let's see if we have any activity. Okay, there's that buzzer. Just push the clutch in, the red button. Look at that. Woo! All right, watch your oil pressure. That's oil pressure coming up slow. I'm sorry. That's your oil pressure. You see how it stayed down for a while, then it came up? So we do have good oil, good oil pressure. The air pressure is now going to be rising, and that buzzer will cut off when it gets to about 90. Cuts off at 60, it looks like, but it will continue to build on up. Okay. That is unbelievable how well this thing cranked up. And I hadn't touched it in months. Alright, let's go see if we can get this thing out and unload that firewood at the fire shed. Uh-oh. Oh no. This is our first broke thing for the weekend. The brake pedal's going all the way to the floor. That means brake fluid has leaked out somewhere. Oh joy. Oh, this is going to be a good weekend. It's going to start off wonderful. I've got such low gears in it though. I believe I can make it to the woodshed without needing brakes. Let's see what happens. Power steering. Man up on it. Man up. Nope, no brakes. Where'd you go? I lost you there a second. Woo! I got a new camera mount for Christmas. I hadn't worked the bugs out of it yet. We'll work on that. Y'all, let's shut her down and we'll check the brakes out. Shutdown procedure. Kill the battery. Just as simple as that. And you can also see that air pressure. It'll stay there. We won't have to wait that little bit of time, for both the oil pressure and the air pressure, the rest of the day. I mean, once it cranks up for the first time in the morning, air pressure will pop back up, oil pressure will pop back up real quick. So it's really just a cold start that that is most concerning. There's some of the specs on this whole thing. It was actually a U.S. forestry truck. It is a military deuce and a half, but it was built for the U.S. Forestry Service. And then it was donated to a fire department. And that's where it spent all of its life. You can see, look how many quarts of oil go in the engine. You better be ready to pay a good bill when you check, excuse me. I'm so sorry. When you change the oil, that's a nice little Benjamin Franklin there, better. So anyway, you can see some of the capacities, 2.5 ton. That's why we call it a deuce and a half. Okay. Over here, it actually shows some of the authorized fuels. Diesel, of course, is the preferred, but here's gasoline. Mixing fuels is permissible. So yes, I do put oil and diesel in there together. It does say do not use aviation grade gasoline. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. There's the other stickers. Transfer case information. Yeah, you can see it's not really built for a whole lot of speed. In fourth gear, the highest speed is what is that, 56? Yep. Or is it 55? Can't see the 56. Why wouldn't they just round that to 55? I don't know. Some engineer knew exactly one more mile they could get out of it. But if it's in low gear, look how fast it'll go. All the way down to first gear, 5 miles an hour is top speed, high RPM. So the brake master cylinder is not under the hood. It's actually in the floor. Just to give you a reference, there's the gas or fuel pedal. So I'm gonna open this little door up right here so that we can peek in and see what's going on with that master cylinder down there. Ooh, a little secret compartment. Look at there. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me move you. Okay. There is the brake master cylinder. It doesn't look wet from the top. I do see some wetness underneath. I don't know if you can see that or not. It may be leaking out of the front of this master cylinder, but I need to go get a wrench. Do you see this? You see that hole, that top right there? It's not really. Okay, let's try this again. 3/4 this time. Oh yeah, that's fitting it. This is that situation where you bust your knuckles, and I did. Okay, what's going on down in here? Okay, it's damp. The engineers were actually very kind to put a hole right above that. I think you can see down in there. All right, y'all, I just realized I didn't cut the camera on, but all I did was just dump brake fluid down in there. That 5.1. So I put the top back on. Let's check and see if we got brakes. But the problem with these master cylinders and these deuces is they're single reservoir master cylinders. And if they lose all of the fluid out of it, all of your brakes are gone. Whereas in more modern vehicles, they've got 2 reservoirs, one for the front brake, one for the back, so you lose one or the other, which is a much better scenario than getting in this thing and cranking it up and having no brakes whatsoever. What I'm doing now is just seeing if I could feel any pressure with the fluid that I'm pumping, and I'm afraid that I may have lost so much that the master cylinder is going to need to be bled, the wheels are going to need to be bled. I'm feeling a little bit of pressure. I'm also hearing air. That may be the air boost losing a little pressure. Let me crank it back up and see if I can have any resemblance of brakes with everything running. Put it in neutral. Ask me how I know that. Come on. Why is the starter switch not working? Well, there it goes. Woo! I thought we were about to have something else to work on. We're not even an hour into our weekend. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, what I'm going to do is get under and check for leaks, see if there's any just obvious broken lines anywhere. And if not, I'm just going to have to wait for Braden or somebody else to get here tomorrow, because one person has got to stand in here and pump while the other one is down there bleeding. And it'll take about 15-20 minutes to bleed it, but when you're carrying several tons of logs in the back, you kind of have to have brakes. Or just clear a new path, I guess. All right, let me clean my tools up, look for those lines. If I see a leak, I'll bring you back. If not, we'll go on to what we do next on a Friday evening. See, y'all, I didn't find any obvious leaks in the old deuce and a half lines. I think it's just the wettest part I found was between the master cylinder and the brake booster. So I think ultimately a new master cylinder is going to be in line if I don't want to have to continue with the hassle of putting fluid in it and bleeding it and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, we're on to another project. The next thing I normally do on a Friday night, as you can see, the sun is going down. And this is probably where a lot of my videos we pick up on, because as the sun goes down and farm projects are ceased for the day, we get to work on fun stuff, you know? We get to have a good old time in the shop. But you've probably never seen my shop as dirty as it is right now. A lot of times during the week, I'll pick up supplies and materials and just throw them in the edge of the shop because I'm running through after work and just don't have time to do everything. So next thing I do is clean up a little bit. We're going to organize, put tools up, get stuff out of the way. Corn bags, they need to go bye-bye. This is a meter pole, a temporary power pole that I collected this week to start the barn project in a little bit. That's a tractor seat that I replaced last weekend that I've got to deal with. Scrap metal that needs to go to the pile. Generator, hadn't cranked it up in a year, but we've got some freezing weather coming, so I got it out this week and I put seafoam in the gas tank, put fresh new gas in it, cranked it up, let it run for about an hour. Just in case our electricity goes out, we're going to be prepared. So yeah, a lot of cleaning up, straightening up. I got to get this organized in order to have my head straight on for the weekend, because I need to know where everything is and put my hands on it. If I can't, then it just wastes time and only have a day. Y'all, I work 5 days out of the week, and I have 1 day on the farm to really do hard manual labor, have church on Sunday, and I really do believe in resting on Sunday between Sunday morning church and Sunday night. So if a fella doesn't get a little rest, as wide open as we tend to go, our bodies can break down and crash very quickly. Well, we're not even an hour and a half in, and I was moving that power pole and it bit me. Doggone it. Not even an hour and a half in the weekend, we already have blood. Okay, let me go address this. I don't know, 2.5 hours in, and I didn't video the part of me going in the house needing a very warm, nice deer steak that my father had cooked for supper while we watched Wheel of Fortune. It's a religion around here that we watch Wheel of Fortune every night. We don't talk. You got to be at attention when you watch Wheel of Fortune. It's very important that you pay attention. But we had some very yummy, fresh deer steaks that were just processed probably about 2 weeks ago. Man, they were good. They've marinated all day long. Anyway, let me turn the camera and give you an update on the shop. Okay, you know what? I have learned that a fella just feels better when the shop is picked up and much nicer and neater. I just feel like I can go into tomorrow knowing that all my tools are put up, everything is where they belong, everything is in place, so I know right if and when, no, not if, when something happens, we'll have the tools ready to go and everything put up. So while I was cleaning my workbench off, I noticed that I had an unfinished project. This is a plate that goes on the parking brake on the tractor. It kind of covers up the mechanism, and the parking brake lever sticks through here. About a weekend or so ago, I took everything apart in the cab of our our working tractor, and got all the rust out of it. And as you can see, I couldn't put that back on, all the nice, pretty stuff, and I just ran out of time. And I left it up here on my bench. So tonight, before I go to bed, I'm gonna clean this up, get as much of the rust off as possible, and put a rust treatment on here. And let's get this back on tomorrow before I lose that. I put up this sign that, I don't know, maybe the boys or the wife got me this for Christmas, and I don't know what they mean by that. But I will say it's perfect. I love it. That was a wonderful Christmas present. It's going to be a nice addition in the old shop there. And yes, I do still play with tractors, and I've got one that looks just like that. All right, so let me fix this. This is not a safe grinder. It's a bench grinder with a wire brush on it. All the guards are missing. Even the tool post is missing on this side. I've got it on the wheel side, but this is bad. This is a very, very powerful thing. It's been around probably since World War II. So you got to be very careful how you use this. And honestly, I'm very hesitant to let my boys use it, because it'll take this shirt and wrap it up in there and rip it off of you, or take you in with it. So I tend not to wear gloves with it because I don't want my gloves to get caught in there. But hopefully, I know some of you are probably going to say, oh, that's some dangerous stuff you're doing there. Yeah, it is, and I've been doing it for a long time. You just got to be wise and be careful. Y'all see that grab a time or two? You just got to make sure when you're using that to not catch an edge, but also if it were to pull it in, keep your hands to the point to where it doesn't go with it. It's one of those things that just takes a lot of experience, knowing and understanding. But my main goal with that was to get most of the flaky rust off of this. Now I'm going to get a wire brush and kind of cap it off, and then get some acetone, clean it up, and put a little rust treatment on it. So this is not a very old tractor. It's probably only 15 years old. But you see how bad that rust is pitting? What happens is, if you don't take care of your tractor, and let's just say you're fertilizing, with the whirly-birder out there, and some of that fertilizer will kick up and get in your cab and land on metal. Fertilizer is very, very caustic, or what's the word I'm looking for? It makes stuff rust really quickly, okay? Corrosive, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. But probably all these little spots is where fertilizer has gotten up there and laid, because this is right behind the seat, or right beside the seat, and fertilizer will kind of land here. So you need to do better maintenance on your tractor than we've been doing, okay? But I'm glad I caught it before it completely rusted away. So again, I'm just trying to halt the rust at this point. I know it's almost a lost cause to make it look better, but you know what? I don't need to look great. I just need the rust to stop. Got a good dad joke for you. It was a good one this week. So my wife evaluated my listening skills. She said, "You're an 8 on a scale of 10. You're an 8 on a scale of 10. Why is she asking me to pee on a skeleton?" You get it? You're an 8 on a scale of 10. Oh, okay. All right. See, I knew right where my acetone was because my shop was clean and everything was in its place. Oh, that's a good feeling. I even picked this rag up a while ago when I swept the floor up. So there again. So this acetone is going to get a lot of this old rust residue off, the old grease, and maybe a little bit of leftover corrosive stuff. And it dries very quickly. See there? I know it's not as good as sandblasting, but quite frankly, I don't think I would want to sandblast this because I might not have a piece left. Let me go put that up, right? So this is some stuff I use. Permatex rust treatment. Says it destroys rust on contact. That's exactly what we want, right? Man, yeah. Destroys rust on contact. Use gloves. Let's see, wipe off dirt and oil. We did that. Sand with coarse sandpaper, wire brush, check. We did all of that. Should be used in a temperature between 50 and 90. And I think we're down in the high 40s. Maybe that's close to 50. What I do know is probably going to take a long time for this to dry. And I'm going to put a coat on there and maybe another coat before I leave the shop, but let it sit the rest of the night. And I actually have a heater on right beside me in my meat processing room. I may put it in there tonight and let it dry real good. Destroys rust on contact. I can just hear the rust going, no, no, no. What it'll do is it'll kind of turn that into a hard ceramic finish that is both primable and paintable. All right, I'm gonna go in there and stick this by the heater. Okay, next thing we're going to do is check out some chainsaws. This chainsaw is the second to oldest in our fleet. A Steel Pro MS260. Man, it's been a really, really good chainsaw. The blade is completely worn out. Can you see how how short these little knobs are getting? But I have sharpened it already, and I'm going to get one more running out of it. But I bought a new chain today, and it's in the truck. But we're not going to change it out just yet. I've got it adjusted properly. But I always like to take it apart and blow out a lot of the refuse and make sure the oiling hole is open for the blade. So let me do that real quick. I'm not going to clean this chainsaw completely tonight. I'm just going to basically get a lot of the dirt off of it that might be causing it to overheat or not oil or something like that. Hey, one llama was out on a date, and he asked his date rather, would you like to go on a picnic? He said, alpaca lunch. You get it? Alpaca? Okay, I apologize. Dad jokes are pretty bad tonight. Woo, fella ought to take better care of his chainsaws, right? All right, so I'm just gonna take a moment to basically just blow a lot of this stuff out of there. Man, it does look like the oiling hole is stopped up. So it is a good thing that that's a good tool right there, a fork, right? Gotta work on my tool. Yeah. I hope this wasn't one of my mother's good forks. There we go, that one's open. Oiling hole on this side, there it is. Preventative maintenance is the best maintenance. The best. Saves you a lot of heartache in the long run. I'm gonna try not to get any of this on you, but watch out. I can't promise anything. It's gonna be hard not to get it on you. But I'll try. Okay, looks a little better. This is a hot mess though. Okay, it's cleaner than it was, that's for sure. So, let's see if we can get this dude back on there. Okay, That went on kind of easy. Somewhat. I came in one night this week. That's when I say I come in and I do little things. I just do little things during the week to make this moment a little better, to where it doesn't all stack up on me on the weekend. So when I tighten my chain, don't want to get it too tight, don't want it too loose. I like to be able to pull it up just a little bit right there. That feels pretty good. Let me loosen it just a little bit. Right there, that right there. Okay, let's tighten her down. It's been about 2 weeks since I've cranked this old girl up. She's usually pretty faithful. Let's see what kind of gas we got. We got enough to see if it'll start. I'm not really gonna fill them up tonight. Some of the tanks, the oil tanks especially, have a little leak, but that's good. I've got oil in it, got gas, oil mixture. Let's see what happens. Okay, got the choke on. I tried to crank it properly for y'all, but I can't do it that way. This is how I do it. There, look at there. Look at there. She's cold. Ow. I almost cut you. Did you see that? Not the newest one, probably the best running. Okay, we'll call that one ready. Ready to work. All right, now this one. Ooh, gotta lift some weights on this one. This one I took apart last night and I cleaned it up just like I did that one. But this one is old. I don't know if y'all can tell. This is an old steel, I call it Magnum PI. Magnum, steel Magnum. It has been sitting in my shop or my shed behind my house for 10 years and I have not touched it. I mean, I left gas in it, oil got left in it. I mean, I just got through using it, set it in the shed and didn't use it for 10 more years. And I pulled it out last night and dumped the old gas out and took it apart and cleaned it and put some fresh gas in there, a little bit of oil, sharpened the chain. And y'all, can you believe that it fired right up? Just like it had been worked yesterday. Now I'm gonna try to crank it here. Now this one weighs probably 15 pounds more than that other one does. And it is ridiculously heavy, but it'll give you a good workout and it'll cut a tree like there's no tomorrow. So let's choke it. Let's make sure it doesn't call me a liar, okay? Here we go. Here we go. Can you see me? Yeah. may have to change my mind on how well that one runs, the other one, because it's unbelievable that chainsaw sat up for 10 years. And I don't know why I hadn't been using it, probably just because it's so heavy. Every time I use it, I wake up on Sunday morning and get ready to go to church, and I can't hardly get out of the bed. I think I remember that being the case. But I'm going to use it tomorrow because we've got some big old trees to cut. I got one more chainsaw. Let me pause for a second. I got to go get it back out of the back of the truck. It's the newest one on the fleet, and I'll show you in a second. Okay, y'all, it may not look like it, but this is the newest one on the fleet, the Steel MS 261, and it's a very powerful saw, but it's pretty light too. It is held up well in this farm, and for something to hold up well in this farm speaks a lot. Now, I have already taken this one apart and blown it out a little bit too, but I did take it today to a local saw shop, Wilson's Saw in Meridian, Mississippi, and had them actually professionally sharpen the blade, the chain, whatever you want to call it. It was kind of cutting sideways, like one side got sharper than the other, because you have to rotate, these teeth rotate on this thing, and you have to sharpen one side, then spin the saw and sharpen the other side. It's almost as if one side got sharp but the other didn't. It was causing it to, but I had them put it in that machine and get the chain back like it needed to be. So hopefully tomorrow it's going to cut well. Last time I got really frustrated with this saw trying to cut firewood. It was just getting on my nerves. But hopefully it's fixed now. Y'all ever use Seafoam Deep Creep? I'm not trying to promote products during this whole thing, but this is just some good stuff. I mean, Deep Creep. I mean, something called Deep Creep either is a real scary thing, or if it's referring to a penetrating oil, it's a good thing. I'm just gonna put a little oil on the chain. He put it a little tighter than I typically like it. But you know what? He might know better than I. I'm not the professional. I'm just a plowboy that likes to do stuff. Okay. I kind of like the smell too. I can't. It's almost like one of those little floaters in the toilet bowl. You know what I mean? In the urinal. It smells like a clean bathroom. I like that smell. It's good. All right, let's see if this one cranks. Gas. Oh, it's got a full tank. Man, we'll have to go to the pump tomorrow for that one. Oil. Yeah, it's got half a tank of oil. All right, let's see what happens. I still say though, the old saw that's 30 years old cranked on the first pull. The other two, I think I had to, the first one, you know, I cranked on, it had a little more compression to it. This newer saw has a little compression release on it, I believe. So it's real easy to pull on the string. But that big old heavy dude, I mean, I'm glad it cranked on the first pull, because it's a beast. It's just a beast. Okay, so look, can you see that? It's starting to get cold, and I'm fine. I enjoy working in the cold weather. I really prefer this over sweating my tail off like I usually do in the summertime. But there's something I have learned that I hope all you young fellas can learn sooner than I did. You know, y'all have seen me stay in this shop for nights on end till 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, And that's on my Friday night, okay? The Friday night where I'm supposed to work all day on Saturday and bust my tail, you know? Rest is good for the body. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Please understand that. There are a lot of health conditions that come up as a result of the lack of rest and sleep. Blood pressure, which I have a problem with. All manner of other things can happen. Clarity of mind, you know. So it's, what time is it now? It's on my phone there. It's probably about 7:30 now. I'm going to cut shop night off at 8 o'clock tonight so that I can go to bed and have a refreshed day tomorrow and be sharp for you guys, okay? I love shop nights with all my heart, but it's cold, number one, and number two, as the body gets older, it just needs rest, okay? So please learn that lesson early. Exercise is the other thing I've been doing for the last month and a half. I've been going to the gym 4 mornings out of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, and I rest on church nights, Wednesday night and Sunday. I rest on those 2 days. And of course, Saturday for me is hard manual labor on the farm. So that's like a workout anyway. But man, I work out about an hour and a half at Planet Fitness in the mornings and get the whole body. I do from head to toe. Some people do legs one day and abs one day and arms one day, but I do the whole shoot shebang. Now, it makes me feel better during the week, but I am tired when it comes to Friday afternoon. My body's just worn out, so those 2 days of rest are just coming at the right exact moment. So, anyway, shop's clean, chainsaws are ready to go, deuce and a half is about ready. My little tractor project's about done, so I serviced it last weekend, so the tractor should be ready to crank up and go tomorrow. Cross our fingers, because we don't know what's going to happen on the farm. But anywho, look, let's go to bed and get a good night's rest tonight and get up early. I like going to bed early so that I can get up early. I'll be honest with y'all, my favorite time of the day is sunrise and sunset, those two moments. I love it when I'm able to see those two. And when I work out in the morning, I'm able to drive home and watch the sunrise, which is awesome. Okay, I'll quit bumping my gums because I'm not getting to bed by doing that. See you guys tomorrow. Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, it's about 6:15 or so on Saturday morning. Got a wonderful night's sleep last night. Oh, I got a solid, 7.5 to 8 hours in. And you don't know how much that's going to help a fella today when we're kind of sort of, excuse me, meeting the unexpected and doing what we need to do and getting things accomplished. It's going to help so much. And I also think it's essential when it's 28 degrees outside to get your belly warm first. So, got an old cup of coffee here. This is in honor of my brother being in town. I am big brother, but probably more big bother. Anyway, all right, so we're going to get out and stretch our legs here in a minute. And by the way, I have an RV here on the camper that when I need to be here and get started on a Friday afternoon and be here to just get after it and get started on Saturday morning, stay in the RV overnight. So I've got a full 3-slot full hookup RV park here on the campground. I built it back in 2013 in that transition of us moving from West Point, Mississippi back to Meridian. Had to have a place to put my camper, but also I knew that when we moved here that I was going to need a little remote spot, so to speak, for a residence, because we have a house in Meridian, and ultimately we were wanting to build here, but I knew this would be good for us in that transitionary period, but also a good place to put my camper, and it's close to my parents, and just had all kind of reasons why this campground was necessary. So, all right, old guy's gonna get his belly warm, and we're gonna get outside, take a stroll, and see where the day takes us. All right, y'all, can't you see why this is my favorite time of the day, when the beautiful colors in the skies are coming up, and The sun is making its way to the horizon. The birds are starting to sing. Let me just be quiet a minute. Oh, I just love this time of day. Anyway, here's a little shot of the campground. There's a little firewood shed built out of wood off the place. This is one slot. That's a full hookup 50 amp slot. That's also another slot that I've got a little tiny house sitting on that I built during COVID. Here's my camper shed. And that's the cowbell that I sleep in a lot when I'm camping with my scouts as a scoutmaster. But that's kind of my temporary man residence, so to speak, right now. So we're going to take a stroll through the pasture, and we got a mechanical device that we need to see if we can get cranked up. Last weekend, I built a little road all the way from this top pasture down to the creek that's down in the bottom, and I ran out of time while I was working, and I was loading up a lot of old privet and nasty old bushes in a 5-ton military truck. You're gonna see it here in just a second. All right, you see it? It's right down there. So I got a load of refuse in the back of that thing, and let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. We're gonna see if we can get that cranked and get that load taken off, because we may have other plans for that truck today as well. But again, just soak it in for a minute. That's what I have to do. It might be cold out here this morning, but this doggone view just warms me up. You know what I mean? All right. I love y'all. And you can rewind and look at this more if you want, but I'm fixing to have to put the phone down just so I can focus on my stroll between here and that truck and get my mind right for the day. Getting closer to the truck, just wanted to show you this. This is a kind of a layout I played with last weekend. We're thinking about building a barn here in this pasture. And I kind of sort of laid out with string the footprint of what that would be, just to see if it fits right. And it's by no means the size. We've actually, as a result of this, realized that the barn was not going to be big enough. So anyway, that's the reason, kind of cleaning out back here and moving a lot of stuff with that truck. We've got a big event coming in May. I don't know if I'm allowed to announce it just yet, but man, look again at that beautiful sky down that pasture. Good night. It's gonna be a beautiful spot to sit out in front of your barn and look down through there. All right, now something else I did last weekend. I'm gonna take you on a little stroll down a road I built from. So last weekend I got my old DT70 dresser bulldozer and just blazed a trail through here. And ultimately, I'm probably gonna have to cut down one row of these pines in order to expand the road just a little bit. But this is gonna be nice, beautiful little trail in the future, leading from the barn down to the creek. But I made a little road. It's got a lot of privet that I'm still wanting to clean up. A lot of underbrush that looks kind of bad, but anyway, man, looky here. Look like I opened up some some fresh tracks there. There's other people that like the road too. Ooh, yeah, look at there. And look at there. Yes, sir. Looks like there's gonna be some erosion coming down this hill, so I'm gonna have to come back in with the dozer and burr up the roads just a little bit to keep erosion from happening. On a little creek down here in the bottom, Yazoo Creek. So this creek is named after the Yazoscatane Choctaw Indian tribe, which highly populated this area at one point. And yes, we find a lot of arrowheads and different artifacts. So get down here to this creek and you can see why it was so attractive to the Native Americans to live here. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful little creek. My goodness, what a beautiful view on a Saturday morning. Wow, crisp, cool. Got a little fog coming up off the water down there. Y'all, I love it. And I love the fact that I'm sharing this with you this morning. Man, I could just put my chair here and stay a while. And maybe I ought to get my rifle and do that. You know what I mean? With all the tracks I'm seeing. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna walk myself back up to the top of the hill and let's see if we can get that 5-ton truck started and get that refuse toted off. All right, here she is. This actually belongs to my brother, Jonathan Smith, and he has used it to haul a lot of dirt off the place, or in a pond that he's building on the back side of the place. As you can tell, it's highly modified. Got skidder floating tires on the back. Excuse me. Big old 5-ton tires, military tires on the front. It has a Cummins, large Cummins diesel in it, turbo. So it's a strong running truck. But it is 29 degrees this morning. And let's just see if this thing will fire up. I'm pretty confident that it will. The motor in this thing is super strong. But you see, I've got a lot of brush and old sweet gums and whatnot that I've been clearing off out of this little area. So we need to go dump that. Get that out of the way. All right. It's just a challenge to get up in this thing. Good night. Oh yeah, that'll get the legs working. Okay. As you can see, it's got similar gauges to the Deuce and a Half. So it's a very similar platform, just a lot bigger and a lot beefier. So, procedure's a little similar in this one. Let's cut the batteries on. And engine stop, all that's good. Actually, that's all that's required. Here is actually the ignition. That cuts the batteries on. Ignition is right here, okay? All right, so here we go. Okay. Well, you know what? Watch this. Just poke your head in that corner right there. Let me do this one more time and see if you see it. I saw sparks, okay? We have batteries have a bad connection, and it is super cold this morning. So we got to have all of our juice going to the engine to get this thing cranked. So let me go to the battery box, because I hear the sparking happening on the batteries too. And let me do a little looking over there. Here they are, y'all. I wouldn't say they were in the best of shape, and that cable is definitely loose. That cable is completely loose. You see it moving? Okay. You know what we need to do, right? Need to go down there and get some of that deep creep and put on here, and yeah, I'll be right back. So y'all, I've just learned over time to go on ahead and make you a tool bag, a mobile tool bag, to duplicate some tools, because what would happen at this point, I would go down to the shop and fumble through the toolbox and get the thing of wrenches and probably come back with the wrong wrench. You know what I mean? So just go on ahead and get you a duplicated set of tools and put in your tool bag or your toolbox in your truck. And why am I missing the 9/16? You know, 9/16 is the most common wrench to go missing. But I think before I blame anybody, look around good, okay? That's something else. Before you start accusing folks of stuff, do all your homework and do your research. There we go. Okay, so I would have spent 30 minutes on this fine day going and searching for wrenches, but that took about 5 minutes just to go ahead and get that set, bring it over here, and let's see what we got. It's gonna be a 1/2 inch. Yeah, it's gonna be a 1/2 inch. But I don't have my little camera mount this morning, so I gotta put you down for just a minute. I'm gonna loosen up this bolt, clean it up, and also in my bag have battery post cleaners. So we're gonna give these batteries a good cleaning this morning. I'll be right back, and let's see if we get her fired up. Let me bring you in here on just one post. So I was able to loosen this ground. See how loose that is? We're gonna fix all of that. And look how dirty that post is. Can you see that? So got this handy dandy little battery post cleaner that I'll put on here, and actually I'm gonna put the top back on it because that's gonna, all those little stickers are gonna poke in my hand if I don't. All right, so you put it on there and just turn. It's got little bristles in there. And let's see how magical it looks when I pull it off. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how clean that's gotten. Let's do that one more time. If you do it once and it's nice, and you do it second, it's gonna be even better, right? Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Now, look at how dirty. Get you focused the inside of this one is. Now I'm gonna take this top off, and if I can get it back off. And it's got a thing in here that sticks down. So I can't do that with just one hand. Let me do that and I'll bring you back in and show you how clean this got. Here, I can kind of show you with one hand here when I get it started. Just stick it in there and let those little wire bristles do their thing. Clean all that corrosion up. Look at there, see how clean that's gotten? And that's gonna make for a very, very good connection. Next thing I need to do is take this cable off and brush up this connection, because these batteries are run in, all right, that's negative, that's positive. That would be in series, right? Series connection. Okay, y'all, here's another argument for having a complete set of tools by your side. Some of the connections on this battery were 9/16. Some of them were 14 millimeter, another one was 15 millimeter, and there's 1/2 inch. I would have already been mad this morning having to run back and forth to the shop to find all these tools when I had them all right here. Now, I can just, look, I gotta bring you out here again. Look at there, sun coming up. Beautiful portrait. So instead of being mad, I'm just sitting here enjoying, just being alive this morning. Got to, y'all. You have to. Man, God is good. Okay, I've taken some time. All of the connections are tight. Nothing is loose. So what kind of money are you gonna put on this thing actually cranking now? I don't know. I'm giving it an 85% chance because it's still below freezing. Even though it's pretty this morning, it's still 29 degrees. And y'all, these batteries have been sitting out in the weather. Sunshine, rain, sleet, snow. And they're just awesome. They're on Napas. And I don't know how in the world they're still percolating. I can't even find a date on them. They're so bad, rotten looking. So anyway, let's go give it a shot. What are you saying? I don't know, y'all. Again, 85% is where I'm putting it. And this is with no ether, no starting fluid, 29 degrees, Cummins diesel. know a lot of you Cummins fans out there are gonna say, oh, 110% chance. I don't know. It's a diesel engine, just like everything else is. I'll get my big tail up in here. No, go. Okay, let's try this again. Battery on. Ignition. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Oh. Wow. All right, oil pressure. Oh, she's a little rocky. You don't want to stay running. There she comes. Good oil pressure. There she comes. All the cylinders are coming on board. They're finally waking up. There they go. Oh, I think all 6 are running now. I think we got a runner. Yep. Air pressure, I think, is going to build up. Let her sit here and just warm up a minute. A lot of times on a cold morning, I'd like to let it just sit there and warm up. Let the hydraulics flow. Let the juices get going through the engine. Make sure you got good oil pressure. I wouldn't just start hammering on one right away when it's cold. So let's just let the old beauty sit there a minute. And I'm gonna put my tools up. And then once she warms up a little bit, we're gonna take that off. Where are you? Where are you? Ooh, y'all, just look. Just look at what I'm greeted with as soon as I pull up. Oh, sweetie, are you happy you're alive this morning? Ah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, my buddy is with me now. We can go on and have our day. Look, if she had a tail, look at how much it would be wagging. Oh, looks like we got a good night's rest last night. You did too, didn't you? Oh, aren't we excited about what's going to happen today? Yes, we are. Let's go drive a big truck. All right, y'all. I hear a major air leak, and we have no air pressure. We have no brakes. Hey, that's a recurring theme this weekend. But who needs taking brakes when you got low gears? All right. I cleaned the windshield off. I let it up so I can see. And you know, I wouldn't call myself an enormous feller. This steering wheel's kind of tight on the belly. All right. shift gears. You just gotta be mad. The nose is running. didn't have brakes, I ran into a pile. That's the best brakes. Just run yourself into a pile there. It'll be fine. Come on, hey, hey, woo! Rockin' bull. Yeah, yep. Get on here. Get on here. Woo! Get this thing moving. Ah. It's a workout. Okay, let's dump our load. Dump our load in there. That's a dad joke of the day. Let's dump our load. Okay. There it goes. There it goes. Nice, nice. Okay, there it comes. So, sorry I can't just put my camera out here, but now I'm gonna drive away, and when I do, it's gonna drop the load here, and then later on, I'm gonna bring the bulldozer over here and push it on into the pile. Any hoosers, there she is. Double hydraulic cylinders. All right, back in the shop. Y'all remember that tractor bracket I was working on last night? I don't know if you can see it very well, but that rust stop has dried very, very good. And you see that kind of black ceramic coating? I don't know if I can get the light better, that it created on it. I do feel pretty confident that it stopped the rust on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna paint the back side of it because I'm impatient. I gotta go ahead and get it on the tractor. Let me paint this side, get the tractor to warm it up, get it over here and install it, and the tractor will be ready to work today. All right, still probably below freezing this morning, and we're about to crank up another diesel engine. Isn't that great? Diesel engines love cold mornings. I'm being a little sarcastic on that. Just checking things out. Last weekend, I actually maintained or changed all the oil on this tractor. Actually, I put new pins and covers on a lot of these joints. They were wearing out, and I greased all of them. There's that TD70 bulldozer I was telling you about a little bit earlier. That's a jewel. Okay, let's check our oil this morning. All right, we are in excellent shape. It's so new you can't even see it on the stick. Isn't that great? Brand new oil in this thing. Matter of fact, I'm even trying to be better and label my filters, you know? Okay, so we got good oil, and I know we've got good antifreeze because I cleaned all that out and checked it last weekend. Okay, let's see if the old Valtra tractor, which is it a Finnish? Finland? Maybe? Okay. Neutral. I bet she's gonna complain about cranking this morning. Oh, the starter's already not wanting to wake up. Oh, I don't like that. Ooh, she's cold this morning. Let's see. Glow plugs. I think that I kind of halfway engage the key and glow plugs will start up. Let's see if that's true. Okay. It's a cold morning on the farm. Let me go get a little juice to convince it. A little convincing juice. I'll be right back. That's starter fluid, by the way. Has it become apparent to you yet why that Friday night jump start is so important? I'm sitting here trying to get everything running this morning. I've already spent an hour just trying to get diesel engines cranked. And by the way, the tractor is still not doing well, so I got to get a jump box and give it a little extra oomph to crank. If I hadn't spent that time last night working on chainsaws and all of that kind of stuff, just getting ready for today, that would be another hour I would have to spend today. So, hey, y'all are getting a good taste of what it's like to get started on a farm on a cold morning. Oh, it's great. You gotta love it though. All right, let me get the jump box on the tractor. All right, y'all, I apologize. There might be a little glare with the sun. But anyway, last weekend, I took all of this cab section out and redid all this. It was getting very rusty in there, and the seat was terrible. Didn't have any cushion on the bottom, and it wouldn't stay in place. So unless you had a board back here in the back, the seat would just move wherever it wanted to. I don't know if you can tell, but right there is that plate that we worked on last night. I went on ahead and put it in. I didn't show you that part. I just basically put 2 screws in the top and then put a coat of paint on it. Because the tractor was running, I wanted to let the old diesel engine warm up, and it was just going to be too much for us to be able to talk and deal with the diesel engine at the same time. But hey, if you want to keep something nice, you got to maintain it. And we've neglected this tractor over the years, but she's gotten a little love. The next thing I'm going to do is come in with some, maybe that Herculiner, and put that in the floorboard here to protect this floor area. You might say, Valtra? Never heard of a Valtra. Well, they do sell them here in DeKalb, Mississippi. There's a dealer here. But let me tell you, the more I have researched this tractor, the more I realized it's a pretty awesome beast, and it's held up well on this farm. That is a Volvo diesel, turbo diesel. I think rated about 80 to 90 horsepower. And that joker is bad, sure enough. Believe it or not, that's the best-selling engine in the world. Maybe not here in the United States, but Volvo is a very, very reputable diesel. And that engine is holding up to its name, I promise you. Okay, I'm just checking everything out because we're going to be using this grapple to haul some logs today. And just checking her out good, making sure she's greased up and all the hydraulics are working and no leaks on hoses and that sort of thing. But I think we're getting ready to go. My next thing may be looking at this deuce again. I don't have any help here yet to help bleed these brakes, but let me see what I can do. It was a little risky running that thing in here without brakes, but I figured if things got out of hand that y'all would stop me. Am I correct? Would you have? I hope you're that good a friend. All right, I figured it'd be better to kind of roll it in the shop. Instead of rolling around in the gravel outside, I can actually get my creeper and roll around and do some better work. And Braden will be here in about 10 minutes, and we're gonna get busy bleeding the brakes on this thing. Okay, y'all, since I got you under here with me, this is the bottom side of the master cylinder. And look at all that wet right there. I do think that's where our leak is. And it's leaking all down on this skid plate right here. So ultimately, I think that's what we're gonna have to do, is replace this master cylinder to keep from leaking. Now, down here is the air brake assist, and there's a bleeding screw right there. So I'm gonna get my tools together to do a little bleeding. That's where we're gonna start. And I hope we get a lot of air out from right there. If we don't, and that air has gone past that, we're gonna have to actually go to the wheels and start bleeding them a little bit. But here we go. I'm getting ready for Braden to be here so we can get this done pretty quickly. It's picking up now. Young generation mechanic is here. And Braden, you're not scared of the cold, are you? You ain't cold, are you? You know, it's great to be young. You ain't scared of the cold. Job boss is here. Sweetie's here. Things are about to pick up now. Hey, Braden. By the way, I'm laying on the creeper, ready to bleed some brakes. And Sweetie is all up in my business. Sweetie, go on. We need to bleed some brakes, Braden.
Okay, do you need to get in the truck?
I think I'm ready. And look, I'm doing a video. Excuse me. Excuse me, I've been out in the cold wind this morning. I'm doing a video on what what it's like a day on Triple S Farms from the perspective of a mechanic. And it has been an eventful morning thus far. I'm telling you, but it's been okay. We're still rolling. What time is it now, Brady? 9:17. We need to be out of here by 10 o'clock to go get some logs. So let me get under here and get myself positioned. And let's bleed some brakes. All right. So Braden, you know the drill, right?
Yeah.
All right, just give me a little pump. I don't think you're gonna have any pedal hardly at all. All right, just pump and hold. All right, I got pretty good fluid there. Give me another pump and hold. Ooh, that fluid looks nasty. All right, give me another pump and hold. And tell me, do you feel any pedal at all?
It's a little softer.
You are feeling a little?
Towards the end.
Towards the end, okay. Let me give it one more here. Oh, I got an air spurt that time. Give me another one. All right, give me another one. Give me another one. Is it feeling any different at all?
Any barely.
Barely? Okay. All right, give me another one. I'm getting brake fluid down here. I think maybe all the air has gone to the wheels. I got one little air spurt out of here. Okay, Braden, I think I've done all the damage I can do here. I think I got to go further down. All right. Let me get out on here. All right, Braden. Let me get this one loose. This is good potential to bust a knuckle right here. Ooh, that bleeder screw didn't want to come loose. Probably cause I went the wrong way. Trying to run a camera and think it's just not good. Oh, okay, hold on just a second, Braden. Let me get some good light where our people can see good. All right. Hold on a second. All right, I do see good clear fluid coming out. All right, pump and hold. Ooh, man, we got good brake fluid back here. Pump and hold. Yeah, we got good, clean, clear fluid back here. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry if that last video was a little sketchy doing the brakes while I had Braden here. I just had to get after and get those brakes done. But yes, we got some air out of the master cylinder, and I got a big spurt of air out of one of the back wheels. So that must have been where it is traveling. Now the pedal is about 2 inches off the floor. It didn't go all the way down. So here's the moment of truth. Let's see if we have brakes. If we do, I think all the equipment is ready to go load logs, and that's what we're about to do. Let's see what happens here. Go. Buzzer goes off. We used a lot of air pressure pumping the brakes earlier, so the air pressure went down. All right, come on, brakes. dime. Man, yeah, that will be helpful. Yeah, I'll snap your neck, bud. I don't know what excites me more, to be able to go or to be able to stop. I guess working both together is a great thing. All right. Shut this thing off a second. It is about 9:30 and all the equipment is ready to go for the day. But there's something very important we've got to go do. Brady and I have got to go in and eat a biscuit with a deer steak. So I know you don't want to watch me eat. So give us about 15 minutes and we're going to load up and head on out and load some logs up to bring back over. Well, I'm loading up oil and gas and everything I need, chain, and as I was doing so, I found this little buddy. Look at there. And that's not old either. He must have passed on to the good mouse in the sky late last night. Did it get too cold? What happened, bub? And he's stiff as a rock now. So, bless his heart. Well, you know what likes to eat mice? Can you believe that chickens love that? I'm gonna tell you something. They get vicious when they can get their hands on a mouse. If you don't believe me, let's see what happens here. Watch this. This might get a little violent. Well, I don't think they saw it. I saw a frog come in here one time and they just tore that frog up to pieces. It was very, very violent. But anyway, you didn't need to see that. They'll find that mouse today. Be good chicken food. All right, I'm loading chainsaws, chains, everything I think we might need in the back, tool bag, that sort of thing, and we're about to take off.
All right, things are about to pick up now. Uncle John is here. What were you just telling me?
Don't roll the window up.
Never roll the window up. Never roll the window up. It's shame on somebody trying to keep water out of the cab. But apparently doesn't need rolling up anyway. Okay.
Okay, we've made it to our destination, but I need to do an observation. Oh, all right, I need to just declare an observation. This one right here, that would be Jonathan Smith, always drives like a bat out of hell, okay? So I told this one to get behind that one because I figured he would be up his rear end the whole time.
I don't have brakes either. So.
No, he doesn't have brakes, and that was the other reason. But, and Brayton, this was your first time to drive the Deuce?
Pretty much.
Pretty much the first time to drive the Deuce. And my observation is we've got a new family member that drives like a bat out of hell. I think this one is going to be taken after his Uncle John because I was in fourth gear on the tractor, wide open, high RPMs, and I couldn't keep up with either one of them.
And I never even put mine in fifth.
And you see, I was hoping to have some good video of two military trucks driving down the road, and my tail was way on the other side of the lake, and they were just now parking. So, look, I just had to have an observation. Also, that load of logs right there, that's fixing to go in the back of these two trucks. All right, let's get busy. Y'all, I messed up and told my brother, can you get that big log? That was not the smartest thing.
Your saw cut that.
What?
Your saw be able to cut it?
Yeah, yeah. But I don't think you can get it. Oh no. Yeah, I laid it down now. Mechanic's probably going to be fixing the tractor. It's putting it to the test, that's for sure. Yeah. But you don't tell Uncle John what to do, Brady. You let him. Oftentimes he tells us, don't think, just do. And I think that's his personal philosophy too. I love you, Uncle John. When you watch this, I love you with all my heart. I do. He's got that look on his face. Okay, that cleared it there. That opened it up a little bit. if he wants it, but he's got it. Woo. Tractor's getting light on the back end. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't like that at all. Keep it low to the ground, John. That's a whole lot of log fixing to go on that truck. We're about to see what that 5 ton's made of. We're also about to see what that tractor hydraulics is made of. It's bogging down. Woo. That's a lot of weight. Oh my goodness. That's heavy. I'm glad he admitted it. I believe the old 5 ton's about got all on it wants. Man. No, John. No. Oh, this is where you overdo it. See, this is why I have such good mechanic skills. It's always one more. One more. One more. I was just explaining to these folks, that's why I'm such a good mechanic, because it's always one more. You know what I mean? One more. Well, you probably fixing to go home for sure. It kind of looked like it wanted to tip over to me. Yeah. It's that's a lot of top heavy weight right there. Man alive. All right, gotta get the deuce up for action now. Hey, Braden, kind of sort of get it angled. Yeah. Is the front end engaged? Let's see if it works. I think it does. Yeah, you're good. All right. on up and get it coming this way a little bit more. There it is. Okay. Wow, that was much easier to get off than I anticipated. Y'all, it is now straight up noon, and we have gotten this load of logs moved from one side of the place to the other. I'm going to work on clearing this up with a bulldozer a little bit later and make this my log storage area. But I still got to unload these logs out of the deuce in these pipes. But just let me say, we have, what time did we leave? 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock. And it is noon. And we have hauled, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of pounds of logs in 2 hours. About 5 miles, well, 7 miles from one place to the other. Chainsaws worked perfectly, trucks worked perfectly, tractor did fine. And I promise y'all, if I had walked in this place and not done any maintenance on any of these things, gave them any attention, it would have been 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock tonight getting these logs over here. So it's just a testimony to good maintenance. Preventative maintenance ahead of time is key. So it is 12 o'clock noon. I'm trying to get these logs unloaded before 1 o'clock. You know, plans change on the fly around here sometime. Lori and I are planning on building a barn dominium in the future, but we're building a barn first for a big event coming up in May. And we've been invited to come out and look at a barn dominium on the other side of Kemper County toward Kemper Lake. So I've got to get this unloaded before the missus gets here, because at that point, I don't know what's going to happen. But we're liable to see a very pretty barn dominium in just a minute. Let me get busy unloading. So I wanted to show you this old cab. It's a cab that was laying on its side on a place that we bought. And it is a a GMC truck. You might be able to see there, and I think it's a very early 40s model truck. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I thought so, because it was actually laying on its side. Oh, but come here and look. Oh, gone. Such a beautiful cab, but look at that. It sat on its side on this door for at least 50 years. Might have been better than 50 years. And the whole cab is messed up. But let me tell you my thought on it. My thought is I may cut it in half and attach it to the wall when I get my man cave done. What do you think about that idea? And have half of the truck sticking out of the wall. I even have the fender for this side. I just hadn't brought it over here yet. Anyway, there's our load of logs put in place. Let me go get the deuce, take it back to the shop, clean it up a little bit, and get her home. Okay, y'all, so it's 1:30 in the afternoon. Beautiful day. It's probably in the late 50s right now, and it is gorgeous. But I'm having to shift gears a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, we're about to go see a barn dominium. Old guy had to put his good overalls on. You know, when you go to town on the weekends, you got to put your good overalls on. And then when you go to church on Sunday, you got to have the extra special good overalls on. All right. I don't know how much video I'm going to be able to shoot from this point forward. I don't know if these people are going to want me to or allow me to take video, but my wife is coming, I think. Yeah, I see her coming right here to pick me up. So, all right, we'll continue a day in the life of. Hey y'all, I got a chauffeur. It's Lori Smith. She was just saying she didn't have makeup on. I don't either. Even though it looks like I do, I've got a little wind burn today. I just had to turn the air conditioning on my face because my face was hot. But we're well on our way to go see this barn dominium. You know to turn right here, right? Yeah, okay. Hold on. Oh yeah, we made it. All right, we're back from our barn tour, and old Braden has been helping Uncle John redo a fishing pier on just one of the little things, you know. We always tend to keep 2 or 3 things going on at one time, you know.
Taking advantage of the fact that the front leg is down.
When it fills back up, it'll be just right, won't it? You even lowered it a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, lowered it 16 inches.
16 inches, be closer to the water. That'll be a nice deck, yeah. So your goal is to have all the boards on it by dark?
Absolutely.
Let's take a gander at that. You've got 2 hours to get those boards on. Y'all better not stop and talk.
They're done.
What you sitting down for, Braden?
Waiting.
Are you okay? Are you okay, Braden?
I'm okay.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right, he's hanging. Okay, well, I gotta get Miss Lori back over there, and I gotta clean up some equipment and put it up and do a thing or two. Y'all good?
All good.
All right. Another thing in the day of Triple S Farms. Things were going so good today, equipment-wise. No major breakdowns. I just thought we would test fate. How about that? We've got an hour and a half before the sun goes down. Let's run a bulldozer. Because if there's anything that can get torn up majorly, it's a bulldozer. And I'm not trying to tear anything up, but I'm just saying, let's just finish this day off. Let's just see if this is going to be the perfect mechanical day. Now, when I say perfect, y'all know we started off rocky with all those diesel engines. I'm talking about major breakdowns, hydraulic hoses, you know, that kind of thing. Let's just see what happens for the next 30 minutes. Y'all, I shouldn't have jinxed myself. I don't think it's bad. I don't know. Anyway, one wise word of advice is when you're driving equipment, listen for things and smell things. Listen and smell. That's more important than the seeing part. Well, I was smelling a little antifreeze for some reason, and I was hearing the alternator belt squeaking every time I revved the engine up, which just simply means the alternator belt is loose, and it is. I'm going to tighten it up, but let me show you what I found when I took the side cover off. All right, this is an international engine, and I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea. We've got oil dripping down the side of the back side of the water pump. That might have something to do with what I was smelling. I don't know, but it looks like there's some type of oil leak behind the water pump housing. Might just be a gasket. I don't know, but that's going to be a job for another day. Let's come on around to this other side and look at the alternator belt and confirm my suspicions with the looseness of that. Let's see, here it is right here. Yeah, it's pretty loose. That could stand to be tightened up just a little bit. I wouldn't say it was overly loose, but anyway, got a little bit of leaking going on around the injector pump. Other than that, you know, cleaned off a little small plot of land to put those logs in, what, 20 minutes? Okay, we're not going to waste our time with this beautiful sunset fixing all this stuff. You and I are about to go for a Jeep ride on the sunset. How's that sound? I told y'all my two favorite parts of the day are sunrise and sunset. Anytime I can, I try to take advantage of seeing a beautiful sunset. Here we go. You know who else likes sunsets? Sweetie. Sweetie was gonna follow me all the way to wherever I was gonna go until she got to ride in the Jeep. She loves riding in Jeeps. Don't you, Sweetie? Oh my goodness, yes. My goodness, just side to side. Oh, it just gets so exciting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Get so excited. Can't stand yourself. Oh yeah. What do y'all think about that for a view from your front porch? It's kind of what I'm thinking. See those flags and those stakes? I'd be sitting on the front porch of my house right now if that's where we put it. I just think it would be all right. Normal folks cut off at dark. Would y'all say we were normal folk?
No, not at all.
Look,
Well, I was breaking ice at sunrise planting trees.
all right, I need a moment here for a second.
Yes.
I hadn't done my Tristan moment yet. I wonder what Tristan is doing right now. Tristan! You know who that is? That's your daddy. You know who that is? That's Braden. Wait, Braden. Hey, Tristan. Hey, buddy. We love you. Take care, man.
Love you, big guy.
Man. Okay, y'all. We're about to the end of the deck going that way. Still a pretty sunset. No, it's okay. Go ahead. So it's 5:42 on a Saturday, and we might be at the point of cutting some things off. I don't know. We've gotten the lights out now. So, yeah, 5:42. Y'all have just about spent a full, solid, entire day with the Smiths on the farm. Hope it didn't wear you out. Anyway, gonna go back over to the shop, put some pieces of equipment up, and see what we can do to wrap this day down. Okay, y'all. We've come to the end of a very hard-working but very productive day, I would say. There's one character, and I would say character, that I haven't introduced. This is Lance. This is one of John's really longtime friends. He was in your wedding, right, John? Yeah. So they've been friends a long time. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for following us today on the journey. Just a day in the life of. It's been a great kind of change of pace, you know, for some of the videos that I've been doing. So I've asked Braden, we're going to do like the Robertsons, you know, on Duck Dynasty. We're going to end the day with a meal and a blessing. So Braden's going to bless our food for us. Let's pray.
Dear Lord, it's time to stay, Lord. Just bless this food, Lord, for nourishing our bodies and use our bodies to your service. And just thank you for the ways, Lord, that you've asked to just work today, God, and the ability for us to go out and just get things done, God. And help us go through our days and know that we should use our strength and our abilities for others and to glorify your name. And I pray. Amen.
Amen.
God bless y'all. See you next time.